August is just about to come to a close, and that means it's time for us to set up next month's budget. So you're going to want to stick around to see what we have in store for our September zero-based budget for this family of 3 in the Midwest. Hi friends, and welcome to the Budget Bounce. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jen, and we talk all about living life on a budget, saving for our future, paying down debt, and all the life that happens along the way on this channel. If those are things that interest you, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button down below and tap the bell so you won't miss any videos I post in the future. So we're going to be talking about September 2022 today. We need to set up our monthly budget for our household. There are 3 adults living in this household, and we need to plan for whatever it is that might be coming down the road. So let's head on over and we're going to set up our zero-based budget on my budget template. So let's just have a look. So here we have our monthly budget template. We use this every single month. I started it back in 2018 and it has evolved over time into what it is. So we did not start here. Ours is a very detailed spreadsheet, and that's because I need to live in the details. So this template, if you like it, it is available in my Etsy shop. I always include the link to my shop down in the description box below. Feel free to check it out. I offer it in both Google Sheets, which is what this is, and Microsoft Excel format. So you can get it either way. So let's just jump on in and have a look at what September is going to look like. So today, of course, I have our budget categories down here on the left side, and then our descriptions or line items, source, whatever you want to call it, are all listed in column B, and then our focus is on column C. Anything that you see in columns, anything past column C is not really applicable today. Those things are all going to change as the month goes along. Our focus is setting up column C so that we can track against that for our zero-based budget every month. So by zero-based budget, what I mean is that we estimate how much income we will have coming in, and then we try to spend it on the spreadsheet, on the Google Sheet, on purpose before the month begins to give it direction. Because as this is a great tool for anyone, regardless of what your mindset is and approach to money is, but for spenders like us, we struggle with a roadmap, which is really our budget template, is our roadmap. We struggle. You can imagine how bad it was when we didn't have this, where I was actually seeing it and being faced with the numbers all the time. So zero-based budget, we're trying to spend as much as we possibly can in the spreadsheet before the month begins so that we know exactly where everything needs to go. So let's just jump in here and take a look. So we have to start with our income. And you can see here that we are expecting to have $11,000-ish come in for income. And so I black out our regular salaries because that is one piece of information that we keep private. No problem sharing totals at all. We share our rental income from the other house. And then we have our sinking funds. If we use anything from our sinking funds, it shows up here and will add to our bucket. We have a line for our emergency fund, and this populates automatically if we use anything out of the emergency fund. And then I am expecting to get a child support payment. We actually thought it was going to come in August. It would be a reimbursement for overpayment that Matt had before they stopped it when he finished up the deductions. So we're expecting that to come in September, since it's almost the end of August and we haven't seen it yet. So I'm going to include that here too. So that brings our total to $11,020. And you can see over here, we have this income section. And so all of the numbers get populated here and they flow over here. And that's so that if we ever have any other income that we want to keep track of, I want to be able to look at this box easily. And then we move everything over. And these lines here are so that if we have anything else come in, that we can go ahead and add it. And, like we've had flexible spending reimbursements come in. And so we need to account for that as income and things like that. And then this box we don't even look at when we're setting up the budget, because this changes throughout the month. It's based on actuals, not on the budget itself. So moving on to giving, I'm going to say we're not going to have anything in September because we have a late September birthday, but and then we have an early October birthday. And they're both going to be celebrated in early October. So I'm going to save that for October. So moving on to housing, we are expecting $2,725 for both mortgages, $316 for our monthly gas and electric here. We actually will not have anything for the water, garbage, sewer. That's a quarterly payment that we have to make, and we just made it in August. Internet will be $122.99, and mobile services we expect to be $153, bringing our total to $3,317. Moving on, we have transportation. So I put $500 in gas in here for August because July and August there was a lot of travel happening. And so I am going to decrease this back down to $300, which is what we've been using prior to these 2 months where we were traveling. Matt was traveling to St. Louis every weekend. So I think out of seven or 8 weekends, a trip was made to St. Louis, all but one of them. So that was why our gas was so high. OnStar will be $24.99. Repairs to the Lucerne, I'm going to mark as 0 because hopefully we're getting all of those done. Actually, Matt's gone today on the day that I'm recording this. He went to, his best friend lives a couple hours away, went to his house. He is a longtime auto mechanic and has all the things to repair the Lucerne. And so we have bought all the parts, and Matt took them all to Bob's, and they are working on that today. So anyhow, hopefully we won't have anything remaining for that in September. And, you know, we're hoping, we know that this will be a big savings by Matt doing this work himself. A big savings on labor, because we called around and it was really expensive to get everything done. We don't plan on any repairs or maintenance with the Traverse. We don't have anything with registration. We won't have anything with Uber, and that brings our total transportation to $324. Now in food, I'm going to take this back down. I'm going to take this down to, let's see how I've been doing this. I'm going to take this down to 800, and I'm going to take this down to 150. Bringing our total food to 950. We had it increased because we were traveling. There was a lot of travel happening, and we knew that that meant more food, more dining, everything in terms of, you know, outside of the household and whatnot. So $950 will be our plan for food for September. And I don't have anything. This was actually left over from last month. I forgot to delete it. So we don't have any plans for anything with the kiddos in September. Usually I use this for if something pops up, like you just saw that line for Bug. We had something that we bought for her, some clothes. And so I put that in this category. And so, and we usually have a sinking fund to cover that most of the time anyway. So that's total on kiddos. We won't plan on anything. For pets, we have boarding, and you can see we had some boarding that's actually left over from, I'll just change that to 0. That was left over from August. And for food, we'll plan on, I don't think it's going to be 100 anymore. We have decided not to give Lucy her prescription cat food anymore because she stopped eating it. And so Lucy is our 14-year-old cat. We found out in March that she has a mass in her tummy, and they said 3 to 4 weeks is probably what you should expect, and anything beyond that will be a bonus. And here we are, almost 6 months later, she's still with us. She's been on a prescription diet, but she stopped eating it. She just will not eat it. So we said, screw it. I mean, her days are short as it is. She has taken a significant decline when we were all gone in August for the weekend to attend our niece's funeral. That weekend, she didn't eat at all. And Xanthi couldn't get her to eat while we were gone. And unfortunately, she's just really declined since then. And so we said, you know what? We're going to give her whatever she'll eat. So that's what we're doing. We're not buying any more of that really expensive food. So we're planning on, I think it's going to be, actually I can probably take that down to about $70. I think that'll cover everything with a bag of food for Uther plus her food. Grooming will be $25. Nothing for meds is planned. Other supplies, $45. And that's treats and things like that we do for training with Uther and whatnot. And then there's training, but we don't have any training planned. And then no vet expenses are planned in September. So that brings our total pets to $140. Next up is the insurance category, and this is pretty boring most of the time. And we've settled into the new plan year that started on July 1st, so there really won't be many changes now. $35 for accident insurance, nothing for auto this month. We pay it every 6 months. $74 for critical illness, $25 for dental, $40 for hospital indemnity, $12 for identity theft, $15 for legal, $92 for life, $60 for union dues because I don't know where else to put them. This makes sense to me. $500 for medical, nothing for pet insurance, and $62 for, actually, I'm going to put $26 in here because it's coming out when it shouldn't. And we need to get that fixed. And I know we're not going to get it fixed before the first paycheck. So, and then short-term disability, $62, bringing our total insurance to $945. In entertainment, we'll plan on, I'm going to change this to $36.30 for streaming, and $4 for HP Inc., $10 for Cinemark, and nothing for family entertainment, bringing the total to $51. For health, we have $514 going to our flexible spending accounts, $33 to the gym, $25 to healthcare, bringing the total to $572. Our extras section, and when I get here is when I like to look at our annual expenses spreadsheet, which I have over here, and this goes, let me make it a little smaller so that you can see it goes all the way through December, and it shows, you know, the X's indicate that's the month that we expect to have that expense. I'm going to make it bigger again, and I'm going to filter by the X's that are in September. Say okay. All right, so what do we have? We have auto maintenance, so we're going to have that, but that's already happened actually. And so you can see we've got Henry and Matt's birthdays coming up, and so we usually spend a little bit on that. And we have some hosting coming up for my website that is not active. You guys, I do not have an active website. I just signed up for it so I'd have it if I ever wanted to do it. So I do need to plan on that, but that actually comes out of the business expenses that I do not include in our household budget. And as I mentioned, so the oil change has already happened. We've already paid for that. The gifts are going to be, we're going to save that for October. So, and by the way, it is Henry's 21st birthday this year, and he's our baby. And he has shared that he wanted to spend it with his cousins if possible. They're away at college. He goes to online college, but they're away at college. So if they can get home, he's hoping they'll be home and then hang out with, so me and Matt, and then my sister and brother-in-law, his aunt and uncle. So we're going to actually go visit them in Des Moines and go out on the town with him that weekend and just kind of take him around. He's not a partier. He's not a big drinker. He just gets to do it legally and wants to go do it. So that's what we're doing. So that we'll celebrate both birthdays that weekend, and everything will be in October. So nothing off of the annual expenses for September. So nothing to put in extras as far as I can tell. What will happen is there will be things that'll come up throughout the month that we'll want to put in here. You know, whenever we can, we always hope that we'll have sinking funds to cover these. But the extras, the reason why I have them separate from the miscellaneous, and maybe I should do these, I should flip this in order. But the reason why I have it separate from miscellaneous is because these are miscellaneous things that don't go anywhere else, but I want to see them. So all other miscellaneous is just one bucket that has stuff in it. And it could be anything. And while I can see all of that off to the right of the screen that you can't see, the extras section has specific types of things that I put in here. So anyway, that is why we have a separate budget category for that. So nothing expected for extras in the month of September. Now miscellaneous, we always have $60 we plan on in personal spending, $100 for the household, $150 for all other miscellaneous. That brings us to $310 is what we plan for miscellaneous. Now scrolling up here a little bit so you can see the rest of the columns since I cover up some of it. Now, when we get into the savings, I like to include, we show the interest that's earned, what we spent out of the accounts and that kind of thing. So emergency fund, we are actually not going to, I think that's from something pre-populated. Don't worry about column D, and I won't either. So we don't plan on anything for the emergency fund this month, nothing to investments. We will put $100 into college savings and $618 into our retirement plans. So that brings the total savings to $718. And then for sinking funds, we have a bunch of them. And I just did a video. I've done a couple of videos about our sinking funds recently. So I had a viewer who was asking how we manage our sinking funds. So I did a video for that. I will include a link to that down below. And also I did another video to show how we set up our sinking funds using Ally's savings buckets, because we just moved all of our sinking funds over to Ally. We did that in July, early August. And so now I've reorganized these in a different way because I have a whole bunch of sinking funds and only 10 savings buckets, and I needed them to be together. So like all three of these rows here are going to stay here for auto insurance, auto registrations, auto repairs, and maintenance, but they go in one bucket. Okay. So I'm going to keep all the details here so I can see it. So I know when I look, okay, so the total of these right now at the end of August is $947. So that should be our balance over there. And I would be able to look at this to know the breakdown. So auto insurance, we're going to actually do 250. Auto registrations, we don't plan on anything. Auto repairs, I'm going to put 100 in there. And then city utilities, we're going to do 100. Estate planning, 20. Nothing to the kids' accounts. They're pretty much set where they are. We don't need to put anything else in them. So for gifts, so I had, gifts that were everything except for holidays. And then I had a holidays line. So I put them together. And so we'll do $40 for everything except holidays and $100 to holidays. And then healthcare, we'll put in $40. Home maintenance, we'll put in $150. Life insurance, this actually is not in Ally. It's in a different place. City utilities is in a different place too. Life insurance, this will be $81. And then personal care for clothing and things like that, $35. Personal care for image cosmetics, $40. And then $100 for pet expense, which this is kind of low for this time of year. And it's because we've been using it for, Lucy's had that expensive food. We have vet appointments coming up. So their annual checkups are coming up in October and November, or they're both in November, one of the two. So I like this to be a little higher because when they both go at the same time, usually that's like $400 or $500 in 1 month to get them both in and get the meds, the annual meds, heartworm, flea, and all that for Uther and all their shots and stuff. So technology. So I had two different line items. I had a technology line item, and then I had an online subscriptions line item, keeping those, but just changed them up a little bit because they're both going into the technology bucket over in Ally. So we're putting $50 into each one of them. And then for travel, again, we had business travel, and then we had a vacation type bucket. So I moved them to business and personal with both, categorized as travel. So we're going to put $15 in business travel and nothing in personal. So that brings our total sinking funds to $1,171 is what we plan on. And here we are at our final budget category, our debt section. Now I do have this broken down into some subsections, but we're going to focus on actively paying today. I will point out that the reason why there's different colored font is because the things that have pink font have my name on them, and the things that have black font have only Matt's name on them. So for these, we're going to do $90 towards this credit card, $80 towards this credit card, $91 towards child support, $50 to Capital One for this credit card, $50 to this private student loan, $550 to the car payment, $205 to the HELOC, $400 to this credit card, nothing to student loans for his graduate program, and $300 to the family loan, and nothing to undergrad student loans, bringing our total debt to $1,817. So now that we have everything plugged in, let's see what this looks like. So again, we're focused on this column here. We don't really care about what's going on over here to the right because all of that is addressed in the budget report at the end of the month. So if you stick around, my August budget report will be coming and we will address all of this from August. But for today, we're focused on this column right here. Our total expenses were $10,317. Our total income is $11,020. That is a difference of $702 that we have not allocated anywhere in the spreadsheet. So after much discussion, mulling it over, going back and forth, doing a video and sharing our challenges about where to put the extras going forward. Are we going to put it towards the car? Or are we going to put it towards this stupid credit card that we charged back up again and are paying a ridiculous amount of interest on? We landed on the credit card. So we are going to put the extra here. I'm just going to make this 1100. Oop. And so that's what we will plan to put towards the credit card during the month of September. And that should accelerate this. So I really, really need if we're going to only pay $400, I need at least half of that to go towards the principal. And that's not happening right now. And it is just driving me crazy. So this is the one. This is the one I am the most emotionally impacted by, and I have decided to go with this because this is happening every month. This stress that it's causing me is happening every month. The relief I would get from this is really only relief that's necessary if we lose income. And so I've decided to go with the thing that's eating at me all the time. And that is this credit card. So our plan is to put $1,100 towards that. And then that brings our total at the end. The difference is only $2.43. And that's okay. We get as close to zero as possible, but it doesn't have to be exact. So that is what our September is looking like. I hope that things are going well for you guys, that you are well on your way to setting up September. I know some folks don't even start until the first of the month. For us, I need to start before the money comes in because I don't want it to get away from us, because we actually get paid. Like Matt gets paid on the 29th and I get paid on the last business day of the month. So we get that money for the next month actually in August. So there's a couple of days there where we could have it. If I didn't have it earmarked for other things, it could get away from us. The two spenders that will just, anyway, this is the best way for us to do this, is to have it all done before the month begins. So let us know if you have anything exciting happening in your budget in September. Would love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. And if you have any questions about my template or anything like that, head on over to Etsy, take a look at it. There's lots of information included over there. And I do include in-depth instructions on how to use it and everything. And I have videos specifically for my clients on Etsy who purchase it. So anyhow, that is it for me today. I do have this playlist for you right here. You want to check it out. It's got all of my sinking funds videos, since I mentioned a couple of them. Yes, those are linked down in the description box, but this playlist will take you to all of my sinking funds videos that I've done over the years. Feel free to check it out, and I will meet you over there.